What is up, No Face Gang? Today we're going to be going over one of the most popular and in demand genres, Latin tech house. I'm super excited about this. For those of you that know me, know that I've been living in Dominican Republic for the past 3 years. So I am heavily influenced by Latin music. I've been producing a lot of well-known Latin artists throughout these years. And obviously now that Latin crossed over into our category of dance music, let's dive into Latin house, more specifically Latin tech house. Let's go. So super basic. I put this together today for you guys to just kind of give you an overview. Obviously, like we talked about, Latin tech house is super in demand right now. So it'd be nice to kind of go over some of the basics here and show you guys sort of how things are made. Now, let's dive right in right away and sort of go into the creative process. I think the most important thing when it comes to these kind of tracks is finding the right sample. So in this case, I found this trumpet, this horn on Splice. So I really like it because it has kind of like a two section, and this is like a really nice kind of uplifting section in the going into the build up. So the first thing that we did is obviously chop it up. So that's sort of like the drop section here, where we chop up the loop. And one of them, obviously one of the most common mistakes I see is when guys literally just take it, slap it, and that's it, and basically, put it on the drop. So the second part of the vocal sample, again, I'm starting with the vocals because I think it's really important. Samples, vocals, horns, and all of that kind of stuff, because it's sort of like the most important thing here. So on the vocals, I wanted to do something on the drop right away, and I found this on Splice also. Hey, mamacita, eres un verano, como el azúcar. The original was like this, 3 steps up. Hey, mamacita, eres un verano. Which I didn't really like, so I pitched it down 3 to fit the horns together. Hey, mamacita, eres un verano, como el azúcar. Difícil que leer. Hey, mamacita. So it fits nicely. So what I also did is I did a quick high cut here on the vocals. So if you played this like that. Hey, mamacita, eres un verano, como el azúcar, difícil que leer. The reverb is actually not doing anything, so we can delete that. I just wanted to make it a bit more muffled, so the horns, because the thing is, as you can see, the horns have so much high end that you don't really want to have the vocals interfere with the horns. Hey, mamacita, eres un verano, como el azúcar. There you go. So the next thing that I always do is obviously find a really nice kick. We could play it with the vocal here. Hey, mamacita, eres un verano. Nice tacky kick. I'm sure you guys can find some sample packs online. Also, Splice has plenty of that. Then before I get into the bass line, I actually like to build up my drums first. So let me show you guys what I did with the drums here. So I have it grouped right here in one group together here. So it's 2 sections. I have the hats. What I like to do is I like to bring in multiple hats together. One tone, nice and sharp, another tone, a little bit more muffled. After that, I have my snare, which is technically a clap. Maybe add a little reverb here. Just a tad. I'm not getting into the processing too much here. Just basic high cutting on the drums essentially. Then I bring in some loops that are super important. Add some variation. Now on this particular drum loop, I did use the tic tac technique of transient cutting, as you can see. Just getting rid of like those just getting rid of those sort of tails and stuff like that on the loops. It really helps. Here's another one. I should probably do the same here. All you got to do is select this option here, pull it back. There you go. Normally, probably, if I was building up this track, I'd probably chop the vocals, chop the drums even more. But for the sake of this tutorial, I don't think there's any need to dive into that, as this is sort of like the main concept. Now, of course, on the build-up, I took a snare roll from, I believe it's a Mark Knight sample on Splice again, which is right here. Again, I'm using loops here just to show you guys a quick way to do things. Of course, it'd be nice to build this up on your own, not too complicated. Find a nice 909 snare and then build that up with some effects. Another loop here on the build up. Just some shuffles. For the effects, here's what we have. We have another Splice sample from Noizu. A little reverse here. Down white noise. Now, a really cool effect that I did here was technically a vocal effect. Check it out. So what I did here, actually, I'm going to show you the full sample, which is really cool. I found this on Splice again. Let me see what this is. So I pitched it. Let's hear the original.
Hey, Mr. DJ. Hey, DJ. Hey, Mr. DJ. Hey, Mr. DJ.
So let me just unwarp it so you can hear it.
Hey, Mr. DJ. Hey, Mr. DJ. Hey, Mr. Hey, Mr.
So I took a snippet at the beginning, like a transient.
Hey, Mr.
And basically pitched it up. I literally took like a small little snippet of this sample and I pitched it all the way up +11. Just so it's kind of like almost like a stabby effect that gets created. So if I was to pull this, so it's actually a hey. So I was trying to figure out what word that was. Yeah, so it's. And then what I did also, I filtered it in and I put auto pan on it. So it goes left, right, which creates this cool effect with these effects here. Now, Tech House is super simple, honestly. You want to keep it super basic, not too complicated. Not too many channels here, as you guys can see. So, and then obviously once I build all of that up, so I kind of like to have all the grooves in and all of that before I dive into the most important thing of Tech House, which is the bass line. So if we take a listen to this without the bass right now. So now I can start building up the bass line. As you can see, I chopped up these horns on the stabs, making them super interesting. So I know that this sample is an E minor, obviously, so I'm going to build up this. It's actually not necessarily an E minor, but it is an E. It's important because most tech houses in a major actually, so don't get discouraged by that. Let me consolidate the bass line. Let me show you the bass now. Let me see what I did on the bass line here. So in Ableton, of course, you can choose the scale E. I did it major because it definitely sounds major. So I kept it around the root note of E. With Tech House, you don't want to be moving too much up and down. You want to be kind of staying around the root note, up and down a couple. Very, very simple. Now, if I'm gonna go super into this, obviously, I'd probably turn off the quantize and start moving these around a little bit just to create a bit of like a live scenario, changing the velocity notes as well. I'm not gonna go into that. There's another video that I did on bassline, tech house basslines that you can check out. I'm just keeping this super, super quick and easy. On Serum here, I have this patch. I'm going to turn off all of these effects so you guys can hear what is happening. I'm actually going to create a signature no face patch soon and announce it very soon. I think you guys are going to love it. Here's the bass line. Now, really shows you the importance of processing. So once we turn this on, obviously the first thing we want to do is put this in mono, then sidechain. Well, before we sidechain, let's EQ this properly. Making it nice and warm, adding a sidechain. Now play it with a kick. So that is really nice. So just double checking the kick, the bass, the vocals. Sounds really awesome. And then all together, of course. Super simple, guys. I like to work with the 32 bar loop like that, build up, drop, and then once I have all of that, of course, I would go into a full arrange. I'm not going to get into an arrangement now, but I just wanted to show you a quick and easy way on how to make Latin tech house that you hear all over the clubs nowadays. I hope this helped. Until next time.